Follow comprehension questions numbers 1 through 10. By watching this video, you will find out the answers to the questions. All you have to do is just follow along and make sure that you fill in the questions as we go through them. Let's get started. The first question says, based on the first few paragraphs of the story, describe the setting of Sleepy Hollow. So there's our clue right there. We look at the first few paragraphs of the story, and as we read those, we see that the setting of Sleepy Hollow is described as a quiet and tranquil place with beautiful rivers and trees, and it lulls people to sleep. Okay, that's what it's stated. Remember, tranquil means peaceful, calming, soothing. So make sure you fill that in. And as soon as you're ready, let's go on to number 2. Number 2 says, what mood does the setting of this story create? Well, we've got the setting of Sleepy Hollow, which creates a drowsy, dreamy influence on people. This seems to make them more susceptible to fantasies associated with night. It seems to have a very laid-back, comfortable atmosphere. So the setting creates this laid-back, comfortable atmosphere in the woods. Okay. It also creates a little bit of a tense, scary mood as well. What do the villagers believe the Headless Horseman is, and how did he lose his head? This is one that we talked about in class. He's supposed to be the ghost of a Hessian soldier who had his head blown off by a cannonball in the Revolutionary War. Alright, so that's what the villagers believe he is, and how he lost his head. We answered both parts of that. You can pause this if you need to, and as soon as you're ready, let's go on to number 4. Number 4 says, what do the villagers think he is doing out at night, and why is he said to be in such a hurry? Well, this is one we talked about as well. He's believed to be riding back to the scene of the battle in search of his head that he lost, but he must hurry to get back to the churchyard where he's buried before daybreak. Okay, that's stated in the first few paragraphs of the story as well when they're talking about this ghost, this soldier. As soon as you're ready, we'll be moving on to number 5. What is Ichabod Crane's job, and what other job did he do to earn a little more money? We stated this time and again that he's a school teacher. He instructs the children with reading, writing, and arithmetic. And the job that he does to earn a little more money is that he teaches singing lessons as well. Remember, we said the teachers were not paid very well, if anything, back then. So he needed a little bit of extra income, and he did that by teaching singing lessons. Because of this, all the women loved him. Where does Ichabod Crane live, and why does he need to be able to have all his belongings in a small bundle? Well, remember, the schoolmaster would live in the house of the farmers whose children attended the school. Since he would live with each student for a week at a time, he could only have a few possessions, and he needed to have them in this small bundle so that he could easily carry them from place to place as he moved. Number 7, we will be skipping it, so you can just cross out number 7. And let's go on to number 8. Number 8 says, describe why the women in the countryside think he is an important person. How do the mothers treat him, and how do the younger girls respond to him? Well, the schoolmasters were generally more educated than anyone else in an area like Sleepy Hollow. The mothers would give him the finest food and the nicest china. He'd eat really well. I'm sorry for the typo there. Ichabod spent a lot of time with the girls, impressing them with his elegance and his way of talking. So, just like we saw in the cartoon, all of the women, the mothers and the young girls, they would love Ichabod Crane. They would be fascinated by him. They would be interested in him because he was so smart and knowledgeable. As soon as you're ready, let's go on to number 9. What subject does Ichabod like to read about, and what has increased his interest in this subject? Well, he likes to read about ghosts and spirits. That was seen in the section where it described that he liked to read the book about witchcraft. And living in this spellbound region has only enhanced his interest in these dreadful tales. Remember, Sleepy Hollow has all kinds of scary ghost stories about it. They say it's a haunted town. So because of that, he's extra interested. And last but not least, number 10. What would happen to Ichabod when he would walk home at night after spending the afternoon reading, and how would he handle it? Well, you guys remember, Ichabod Crane is a scaredy cat. He would read until dusk, and then he'd have to walk in the dark toward the house that he was staying at with his mind filled with these wild thoughts. He'd be frightened by almost everything he saw or heard, and he would reassure himself by singing psalms, which are like songs from the Bible. All right. Now that's numbers 1 through 10. All you have to do is just fill those in. If you have any questions about any of these, please make sure you see me either during study hall, during flex, after school, and I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one about it. Otherwise, that's numbers 1 through 10. Right below this, there's a video for numbers 11 through 20. Click that, and you should have numbers 1 through 20 all done by the time you're done watching these. Thank you.